All right, so like, is the Stadia team plan to give me a break this week or what? Or are they just going to bombard me with announcements day after day? I have never seen so much movement from them, and it's just making that hype train for this platform go higher and higher. I mean, my goodness, we just got an announcement for a huge game yesterday, and now we have 8 new games coming to Stadia, all from Ubisoft this holiday season. We'll talk about those games and what this means now for Uplay. Plus, like always, smash that like button for some awesome news. Subscribe if you haven't already for more Stadia news and Stadia coverage, as I cover everything as it happens. Alright, so the Stadia team came up with another surprise today, right before the big week set to come, where they'll be giving us 3 days of good stuff. So imagine my surprise that we got yet another announcement for 8 games today, and it just makes you wonder what the heck is happening next week. With that, let's talk about the 8 Ubisoft games that were just announced to the platform. Now keep in mind, none of these games are brand new, but they are popular oldie but goodie Ubisoft titles. Now I won't go in depth with each game because I'm pretty sure you guys know most of these titles. Let's start with Assassin's Creed games. We have Assassin's Creed Unity, a title that came out back in 2014, followed by the next title on this list is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and then that's followed up with Assassin's Creed Origins. So count them, that is 3 Assassin's Creed games coming to the platform on top of Valhalla and already us having Odyssey. Then we're getting the Watch Dogs games in Watch Dogs 1 and 2. Now I've played 1 extensively. I was never quite able to dive into Watch Dogs 2, but I'll be looking forward to messing with that title when it does come here at some point, and these are excellent games. I've enjoyed the first one very thoroughly. Very hyped to also see Watch Dogs Legion here in a couple weeks, and it's a franchise that I really like. Then we're about to get the Far Cry franchise as well, and this is a personal favorite of mine as well, as I played multiple ones, but not the ones that are being added here to Stadia with Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn. Both of these are coming as well, and I'm looking forward to catching up with these titles. Last but not least is a game that I've poured a few dozen hours into with Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now this one came out just a few years ago, and let me tell you, this game is still very loved and revered today, and some have felt that it is the superior title when you compare it to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So this is an excellent get for Stadia. So that is a total of 8 games coming to the platform that we didn't have before. And let me tell you guys, I'm sure there was some work to bring all these titles to Stadia, so this is pretty insane news, because while some of these have been rated with the ESRB and we knew they were coming, some of these weren't rated and are completely new, like all the Assassin's Creed titles. Now in this same Stadia blog post, we were also reminded that Just Dance 2021, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Riders Republic is also set to come to Stadia in the future. And at this point guys, it's safe to say that these are all going to be tied to Uplay Plus. Now if you haven't paid attention to my channel for the past couple months, I have talked to death about Uplay Plus over and over and over. There is so much information and hints that it's coming that at this point this is wrapped in a bow and it's sitting in front of us naked in front of our eyes. All these games, I see no way that they're going to sell them just individually without Uplay Plus being an option to play these games on. And I just couldn't recommend buying any of these titles if they launched prior to Uplay Plus, because it's to the point where I wouldn't even recommend any of the current Ubisoft titles that are already on Stadia until Uplay Plus actually comes out and gives you that option. Of course, unless you want to own the game yourself, then that's completely different. No folks, this is an obvious addition to the Stadia library for the purposes of Uplay Plus, and I am for one completely thrilled, because I personally had no issues accepting the current titles on Stadia without the addition of these 8 games, but for obviously a reduced Uplay Plus price. Now we still won't get the 100 games that you normally do with PC with Uplay Plus, but this will give them now enough games to justify a full charge, and I'm personally okay with that, especially if the newest titles we're about to get are going to be added to Uplay Plus in Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Far Cry 6, as well as Riders Republic. If all those titles are added to the subscription model, then I'm fine paying another $14.99, but I still would say I'd like to see it at $9.99, but we'll see. And I can definitely see this still being too expensive for some folks when you compare the different amount of games that you get on the PC, which is a total of 112 games, So there is definitely a difference in size in the library, but either way guys, overall this is insane awesome news. All these titles were added today are high quality games. Yes, they are older titles, but they are just beefing up the value of Uplay Plus, and I think this is great to see. Now I'm excited for the fact that Uplay Plus is going to essentially launch freaking any day now, especially with all the rumors and work behind the background that we've uncovered on this channel. Alright, with that, the last thing that I want to know is, guys, like what the heck is going to happen next week? They could have announced this next week, but outside of the demos, this would have been big enough news on its own, and if all they announced were demos and this Ubisoft stuff, I'm pretty sure we would have all been pretty happy. So now it makes you really wonder what is in store for us next week. Maybe they'll just finally announce that Uplay Plus will come along the holidays alongside these games themselves, and that will be a cherry on top. But I don't want to hype something that may not happen, so we'll see. Either way, let me know your thoughts on today's news. Are you guys excited about these 8 Ubisoft titles? And do you think these are games that are meant to be paired with Uplay Plus? And will you guys be playing any of these games on Stadia, and are you hyped for any of them specifically? Let me know down below. Make sure you subscribe for daily content. I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.